A very good afternoon to everyone. I am Rahul Agarwala, partner at Tax Mantra Global. And today, in the series of webinars which we are doing uh, to cover the amendments and changes which have been done in Budget 21-22, recently announced by Finance Minister Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, we will be covering the topic of faceless assessment proceedings and the changes which will impact the businesses. So this budget has had a lot in it with relation to the infrastructure push towards mainly towards healthcare and general infrastructure of the economy and certain long-term steps taken by the government of India. And before the budget, the government had already introduced the faceless assessment proceedings. The income tax department is going completely online and faceless. The assessments have been made faceless. The appeals have been made faceless. And the budget 2021 also announced that the income tax appellate tribunal, the second appellate authority for income tax related proceedings, would also be going faceless. Apart from that, there are certain changes in relation to assessment proceedings which have been done in the budget. And today we have with us CA Ritika Alath, who will be presenting a presentation and taking us through the faceless assessment proceeding scheme and also the things which have been proposed as amendment in this budget. So welcome Ritika to this webinar, and welcome everyone who have joined us through this Zoom webinar and others who are watching us on Facebook Live. So Ritika will be taking up the discussion further, and we'll be having the Q&A round at the end. So anyone having any specific questions or queries, you can ping us here and we can take it up all at the end of the presentation. And people who are watching us on Facebook Live, they can ping their comment on the comment box for any queries, and we'll take it up from there. So once again, good afternoon and welcome. And Ritika, you can start.
Okay, thank you, sir. A very good afternoon to everyone. So, as Rahul explained, today we'll deal with the faceless assessment proceedings in the Income Tax Act. So, I will start with the first introduction, how the scheme was launched, how and when it was introduced. So, it was our former finance minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, who gave a statement in the speech of interim budget 2019-20, wherein he said, it was said by him that within next 2 years it will be a full digital assessment and excluding the interface between the assessee and the income tax officer. Thereafter, it is our present finance minister, Mrs. Nirmala Sitharaman, who in the last year budget only, that is budget 2019-20, launched the faceless scheme by the named e-assessment scheme, and it was introduced by notification number 61 by 2020 on 12th of September 2019. Thereafter, the scheme was amended by the name faceless assessment scheme. However, it was made effective only with effect from 7th of October 2019, when there was a launch of National E-Assessment Center. That is a center cell. That is a center cell for the entire e-assessment proceeding, and I will explain that part in detail later on. So firstly, I will explain what is faceless assessment. Faceless assessment is something which gives us the concept like wherein there will be no interaction between the main basic feature of this scheme is that there will be no interaction between the assessee and the assessing officer who will be assessing the income of the assessee. So I will go to the definition of the assessment given in the scheme only. That is, the assessment proceedings conducted electronically in e-proceeding facility through assessee's registered account in the designated portal. So it covers three main words, that is assessment proceedings conducted electronically and the assessee's registered account. So assessment proceedings means the entire assessment proceeding, starting from the scrutiny assessment and issuing notice and thereafter the passing of the order. I will deal the entire coverage later on. So this is the thing which is covered in this faceless assessment scheme.
Just
And it
to
will,
add, sorry,
yes,
just to add to what Ritika said, the e-proceedings has been there in place since 2019, and in 2020 it was made faceless, which means that the assessment has become jurisdictionless. So earlier there was a specified jurisdictional officer who was authorized to do the assessment for a particular SSC, but now it has become jurisdictionless. It means that through the National E-Assessment Center, the assessment will happen through officers who will be anonymous and they can be located all across the country. And that is why the significance of name of the faceless assessment comes, wherein you don't know, the officer does not know the name, does not know the face, and there is no physical or manual interaction with the SSC. And for the SSC also, the SSC does not know the officer personally, doesn't get to see him personally. The officer is not the jurisdictional officer, but a assessing officer under the National E-Assessment Scheme who could be located anywhere. The SSC could be located in Bangalore, and the officer could be located in Delhi. He could be located in Kolkata or any other district in India wherein uh, the department is available.
yes. So then for this, I would like to mention further that like assessee must have a registered account in the income tax e-portal. So having a registered account in the income tax e-portal is a kind of mandatory thing now. Like every notice and every communication is being done through that account only. So this is the concept behind the faceless assessment, like notice, submitting your submission, your view, hearing, everything will be done through that registered account. Since there will be no physical or verbal interaction between the assessee and the assessing officer, there will be there is an anonymous back office where the tax expert of the income tax department are working. So everything is anonymous except the written part, written order, written notice that we get in our in assessee's registered account. So going forward, firstly I will introduce about the authorities involved in this entire faceless assessment. There is a one center cell named National E-Assessment Center, which will be a common and the only communication portal between the assessee and the officer and the other units, other you can say any kind of communication that will be done through National E-Assessment Center. National E-Assessment Center, you can say, is the only cell by which anyone will get into communicate, like you can say it will be the only cell who will be conducting the entire assessment.
It's the nodal body which will
So
coordinate between
yes,
officer, technical unit, SSC, sending of notices. So all internal coordination will happen through the e-assessment center, which will work as a nodal
nodal
agency.
cent, yeah. So it was launched on 7th of October only, and along with the introduction of 20 regional e-assessment centers. So in that National E-Assessment Center, it will include one assessment unit, one verification unit, one technical unit, and one review unit. So assessment unit will is the unit will who will be performing the assessment of the income and passing of the order. Verification, I will deal in detail these the function of different unit in detail later on. I'm just introducing the different authorities here only. Verification unit will verify the entire assessment procedure, in terms of like information, evidence, like everything is going correctly or not. Then there is a technical unit. Technical unit will give assistance to assessment unit, like if assessment unit will be requiring any assistance in any technical field, like any legal advice or any forensic report or any valuation or any transfer pricing report, any analysis, any kind of any kind of technical assistance, if assessment unit will be requiring, it will be given by the technical unit. And at last there is a review unit who will review the order passed by the assessment unit. Now I will uh, give you a detailed explanation of the functioning of each of the units one by one. First of all, the assessment starts with the after filing of return, or if no return is filed, regarding the starts with the issue of notice under section 143(2) of the Income Tax Act. So if return is filed, before the introduction of e-assessment also, some of the files are selected for scrutiny assessment through CAS system. So it is now also that system is also now, if any file is selected under CAS system is also automated random selection of file for scrutiny. If any file is selected for scrutiny under CAS system, it will be the National E-Assessment Center. That is, the center cell will give the notice that any file has been selected under cash to assessee, will communicate the information that the file has been selected for scrutiny assessment. That will be communicated to assessee by the National E-Assessment Center only. Thereafter, it is the duty of the assessee that within 15 days it will respond to the notice issued by the National E-Assessment Center. Now the process of assessment begins after the issue of notice and receiving of response by the assessee against the notice issued by the NESC. Uh, then it is NESC who will be assigning an assessment unit in respect of each selected files, and that assignment is also done through an automated allocation system. It means the NESC also doesn't have the authority to select any particular assessment unit for any particular assessee. It is all done through automated allocation system. So the selected assessment unit can be from anywhere. Like as Rahul earlier said, if any assessee is from Bangalore, it may be possible that the assessment unit may be from another city, since it is totally automated. So the assessment unit, it is the assessment unit who will be doing the assessment of the file selected under scrutiny. So in the meanwhile of the assessment, as I said, if any assessment unit will require any information from the assessee or any technical assistance from any other department, like any report or valuation report, they will not the assessment unit will not directly contact to assessee, since it is anonymous concept, or also not even they are not eligible to contact directly with any other unit. They will contact to the NESC center cell that the assessment unit requires this kind of assistance or any kind of information from the assessee. Then it is the NESC who will be communicating the information to the other unit that these report are required for the assessment. So you can see the system, like there is no direct communication between different units, even in the internal system of the department also. So there cannot be any kind of biasness in the entire assessment proceedings. Also, one more thing to add, the review unit or the technical unit, will also be selected by the NESC on the basis of automated allocation system only. So in that case also, There is no option with NESE to select any particular verification unit or any particular technical unit. So that is also automated and anonymous.
So I think, yeah, this is a very important point which you have made, Ritika, and this is the
Yes.
whole concept behind bringing in the faceless assessment, that selection of different units who will be doing the assessment, who will be reviewing the assessment unit, review unit, verification unit, all that will be without any bias and computer generated and automated through an automated system. And all of them would be working anonymously. So the complete human interface and interaction and the biasness which was supposed to be there in the system because of physical interaction with the persons would have has been eliminated till a large extent. And we as a tax and legal firm are handling several assessments which are ongoing right now under the faceless assessment scheme, and things have changed for a good, really. So this is working really well in our view.
Yes, and one more thing to add, like earlier, the assessee and the officer had the mindset like we will talk to the officer and set the things. All those things are eliminated, and case will be more decide on the merit instead of going into have contact with the assessing officer. So assessing officer will also have an earlier had an attitude like not to pass the order in favor just because of
Also,
the
I think yeah, will not stick to any particular thing. Both sides there were biasness involved, and all
Mm,
that has been eliminated through the automated system.
yes.
So I think, yeah, the point is made. Yeah, we can proceed.
Okay, now continuing, then the assessment unit on the basis of information, evidence, documents from the NESC and any assistance if the assessment unit has taken from another unit or information from the assessee that the assessment unit may have received from the NESC will pass a draft assessment order. So this is also a new concept like draft assessment order. Earlier, what used to happen was the assessing officer passes the order, which is only the final one. But in this new faceless assessment scheme, there's a concept of review and interaction of any other officer also, whether the order which has been passed by the assessment unit is totally correct or not. So it will be totally bias free. So that draft assessment order after being passed by the assessment unit will be forwarded to the NESC. Assessment unit will forward the draft assessment order to NESC, and now it is in the hand of NESC either to finalize it, or if the NESC feels like or consider it requires a review by review unit, then it will forward the order to the review unit. Or in case if the NESC feels no review is required, then NESC will only finalize the order. In that finalization also, there can be two cases. Like one can be order that it contains no variation that would be against the interest of the assessee. If it contains no such variation, then NESC here only will finalize the order. If it contains any kind of variation that will be prejudicial to the interest of the assessee, before finalizing, the NESC will issue a show cause notice to the assessee mentioning the variation the NESC noticed. Now, if the NESC chooses, like if it consider necessary that the review is required, then the draft assessment order received from the assessment unit will be given to the review unit by the NESC. And that review unit will again be selected by, as I already said, on an automated basis system. Again, the review unit will review the order of the assessment unit, that is draft assessment unit, considering all the information, evidence, and everything. After that, it is the review unit who can either give any suggestion for modification in the order, or or can also agree with the order of the assessment unit. In case there is no suggestion received from the review unit, the review unit will communicate the information of no suggestion to the NESE, and NESE will finalize the order received from the assessment unit, following the same procedure if no variation, without giving any show cause notice if there is any variation, after issuing a show cause notice to the assessee. In case any suggestion is received from review unit, like review unit if feels like any modification is required in the draft assessment order received from the assessment unit, the NESE will, there's another step, one more additional step taken by the government here is for for any review of the order, again assessment will be conducted by another assessment unit. One more assessment unit will be allocated on the same system of automated allocation system, and then another assessment unit will pass the assessment order and will communicate the same to the NESE. Now there is a step of finalization of final draft assessment order. Final draft assessment order will be passed by the second assessment unit, which is there in case of modification suggested by the review unit. So after receiving the final draft assessment order from the second assessment unit in case of modification, the NASE will now finalize the final draft assessment order. So you can see that till now, 3 orders are already there. One is the draft assessment order, and one step is review by the review unit, and another by the second assessment unit, that is final draft assessment order. That was not the case before. There was only one assessing officer who used to finalize the order. Now we will come to the step of show cause notice received by the SSE. Now, after receiving the show cause notice by the SSE, it is the duty of the assessee to respond to the show cause notice received. Then also there can be 2 cases. If there is no response against the show cause notice, and NESE will finalize the draft assessment order or the final draft assessment order in case of modification. If the in second case, if there is any kind of response received from the SSE, the NESE again will not individually consider the response of the show cause notice. The NESE will again communicate that response of the show cause notice to the assessment unit. Now the assessment unit will again pass an order that will be a revised assessment order after considering the response made by the SSE against the show cause notice. So one more step of review by the assessing officer after considering the after considering the response of the SSE. Now going forward, after drafting the revised draft assessment order by the assessment unit considering the show cause reply of the SSE, the same will be communicated to the NESE. The NESE will now finalize the revised draft assessment order. So now here also there can be 2 cases. Earlier there was the concept of only one show cause notice, but now till the step of finalizing the revised draft assessment order, there is one more opportunity for the assessee to show cause their case. If the revised draft assessment order is adding any kind of more observation or more addition or any kind of modification in the earlier draft assessment order, which was replied by the assessee via show cause notice reply, and is there, if there is any other variation in that revised draft assessment order, the NESE will again issue a second show cause notice to the SSE. And then the same step will follow: the response to the SSE, response by the SSE in respect of the second show cause notice, and the consideration of the same by the NESE, and communicating the same to the assessment unit, and the uh, coming to the final assessment order. So after considering all the replies, like first show cause notice reply, review report from the review unit, and the final assessment, second show cause notice reply by the SSE, the NESE will now, this is the final step, will now finalize the assessment order. So you can see how many times the order got reviewed by the internal system of the income tax department via different officers that will be anonymous to each other. There will be no communication in between the different officers, and also assessee will be officer will be unknown to the assessee also till the passing of this final assessment order, and then the final assessment order will be served upon the assessee. So this was the entire working procedure of the assessment till the passing of the final assessment order. So moving forward, now I will just add on the um, additional points that are also relevant in the entire assessment proceeding, as I explained before, like transfer of the in the meanwhile, if the NESE feels so, like the case should be transferred to the jurisdictional assessing officer. So there is one window is given to the NESE, like jurisdictional assessing officer has to come in the assessment proceeding, then the NESE can do so, but the approval of the board has to be taken before doing so. Then penalty for non-compliance of any notice or direction or any other compliance. Like earlier also, in this faceless assessment proceeding system also, there's a concept of penalty, and that can be imposed on assessee or any other person for not responding to the show cause or any other action that could penalize the assessee or any other person, that can also be initiated in between the assessment proceedings, in between the communication through NESE between the SSE as well as the different units. And also the different unit may also recommend the NESE to impose penalty for anything if, on the basis of the information available with the unit feels so that penalty should be imposed. The unit itself will not impose penalty. It will communicate that recommendation to the NESE, and it will NESE who will, before making any such order for penalty, again issue a show cause notice to the SSE that such kind of penalty may be imposed upon the SSE or any other person, along with the communication of such show cause notice to the respective unit who had communicated the recommendation of imposing such penalty upon the SSE or any other person. And on the basis of such show cause notice reply by the SSE against the penalty proceedings, the NESE will finalize the order for imposition of penalty and serve upon the SSE. Another feature communication in electronic mode that we have already covered, like all the communication will be done through that registered e-portal only digitally, and there will be no physical or verbal interface between the officer and the SSC. Now or now we come to the appellate proceeding. The order which is finalized by the National E-Assessment Center can be appealable before the Commissioner of Income Tax Appeals, having jurisdiction over the jurisdictional assessing officer. This point we already know there will be no personal appearance in any SE or other unit, but personal hearing can be requested by the SSE, and in case of special scenario, like if any SE feels so, may allow the SSE a personal hearing to present their case, and that too through a video conferencing. Now we come to the second topic, that is this. Till now I explained the basic concept of the faceless assessment. Now I will deal with the coverage of the scheme. What kind of assessment and what kind of issuance of notice and proceedings are covered under this faceless scheme. So I will directly go to the definition of assessment given in the scheme only. In the scheme, it includes scrutiny assessment under section 143(3) that may be done if the return is filed by the assessee, and also it includes the best judgment assessment under section 144 that may happen in the case when there is no return filed by the assessee even after giving a notice to the assessee to file so, or if no adequate response or information is given by the assessee in response to the relevant notice by the NESE. Also, it covers the cases of section 148, that is reassessment, but it specifically states here that if the notice of section 148(1), like in, I will just touch it, like in section 148 also, before initiating opportunity is given to the SSC that the case is selected for reassessment that the officer is wanting. But as of now, the notice for such one reassessment opening is not covered under this faceless scheme or digital scheme. But if the notice is already issued in respect of section 148 before 13th of August 2020, then the next step, that is the completion of assessment, will be followed by the system of faceless assessment only that I explained. Moving forward, also I want to say one more thing, like this scheme, faceless assessment scheme 2019, is not directly into the act, that is Income Tax Act, but by notification they have introduced this scheme, and under the relevant area of the Income Tax Act they have made amendment in the way making eligible to complete the assessment under the faceless assessment scheme. But a new section has already been introduced as section 144B that will deal separately with the concept of faceless assessment, and it will be effective with effect from 1st April 2021. As of now, we all are following faceless assessment, but the scheme will be no more applicable. We have to go through section 144B. There's no major difference between what has been provided in the scheme and what provision has been given under section 144B. It also covers the assessment under section 143(3), that is scrutiny assessment, as well as the best judgment, as I already explained in the scheme provision. There also there is one center cell, only there is a difference of name. In the scheme, the cell, that center cell named as National E-Assessment Center, but in under section 144B, the name is National Faceless Assessment Center. A few differences there as compared to the scheme and the section 144B. One is response to the issuance of first show cause notice to the SSC. The difference is that in the scheme, it is stated that in case of no response to the SSC, the NESC shall directly finalize the draft assessment order. As I explained earlier, if there is no response received by the NESC against the show cause notice, the NESC has the authority to finalize the draft assessment order received from the assessment unit. However, in section 144B, in case of some eligible SSC, like in technical cases, there are only two eligible SSC in reference to section 144B, that includes the cases of transfer pricing and the non-residents. If no in these two cases, if no response is received by the SSC against the show cause notice, and if the assessment order received from the assessment unit is prejudicial to the interest of the SSC, then before finalizing it directly, the draft assessment order shall be sent to the SSC. Like the SSC, here the concept of dispute resolution panel comes. That was earlier also, like in case of eligible SSC, that is transfer pricing cases and the non-resident cases. Even if the show cause notice is not replied by the SSC, the NESC will forward the draft assessment order itself to the SSC, and under section 144C, there is a provision of dispute resolution panel wherein the eligible SSC, the selected SSCs have option to file objection against the draft assessment order within the time allowed therein. So this was not in the faceless assessment scheme, but has separately been included under section 144B.
So I think we can proceed to the budget highlights, Ritika, now.
Okay. So we are not dealing with the dispute resolution. So I have just covered the additional step in this slide that we have. We have already covered the concept of dispute resolution
Sure.
panel, that is in case of eligible SSC. So I can move forward. So also some of the relevant amendments has been made in the Income Tax Act in reference to the section 144B newly introduced section in relation to faceless inquiry or valuation, since as of now it is separately dealt in the scheme, so there was no requirement in the act. So now some of the provisions has been inserted in the act for faceless inquiry or valuation, faceless rectification, amendments and issuance of notice or intimation, faceless collection and the recovery of tax. Also, two more schemes have already been introduced, that is National Faceless Appeal to Commissioner Appeals, and the ITAT has just been extended. Faceless ITAT appellate proceeding have just been extended in the in the current budget 2020-21. So the steps for the National Faceless Appeal to the Commissioner Appeals is more or less similar to the faceless assessment scheme that I have already explained. The assessment unit, verification unit, technical unit, and the issuance of first show cause notice, second show cause notice. Here also I have already mentioned from first 1 to 14 points, like it also constitute one appeal unit. Then the center cell is named as National Faceless Appeal Center, and here also the concept is more or less same till the finalization, till the passing of the order of the Commissioner Appeals. Now moving forward, in this budget, one more extension, that faceless appeal to the appellate tribunal, has also been introduced in the budget 2021 via amending and insertion of the relevant provision under the Income Tax Act under section 253 and 255. Also, faceless dispute resolution panel. This is also an extension in the budget 2021 only, wherein for the small and the medium taxpayers, the dispute resolution panel has also been made faceless. I have already explained the concept of dispute resolution panel, wherein the assessee has the option to file objection. And also, before the budget announcement of the budget 21-22, the faceless penalty scheme was already introduced as faceless penalty scheme 2021 wide notification, this 3/2021. And some of the enabling provisions has been made in the Income Tax Act that enables the central government to give any scheme like faceless appeal scheme, faceless assessment scheme, to give scheme in respect of like revision order under section 263 and 264 also. Faceless sanction for grant of compounding of prosecution, also faceless approval of registration, like different kind of registration that are supposed to be taken under the Income Tax Act, whether it be charitable registration under section 12 or ATG registration or any kind of registration. Enabling provision has been made under the Income Tax Act that the central government may notify any scheme for these kind of proceedings. But as of now, these are not faceless until any scheme is being introduced by the government. So now we can compare the old system of assessment with the faceless assessment. There are numerous comparisons that we can make, but I have only highlighted the major one. That is the major thing is the no person to person interface. The assessing officer will be anonymous. Assessee will have no opportunity to take any internal biasness from the officer. Then the order system of review, as I already explained, by different units. So more transparency in the assessment. The concept of anonymous officer as compared to before, that we all the assessees were known to their assessing officers. And one more important thing that is of great importance in this faceless assessment is the oral presentation versus written submission. Earlier, what used to happen at the time of hearing, we have to verbally present our case along with all the physical documents and evidence supporting judgments and everything. So we were able to explain our case by emotion and everything, but now this has totally been made dependent on the written submission. So written submission is of great importance under this faceless scheme. So what we write in the show cause reply or in the hearing hearing is also being done via written submission also, that becomes of very utmost importance. So I think via written submission there is an opportunity of better presentation of case, since earlier what used to happen, we all face like what we verbally express within the short period of time may not be communicated properly to the officer, or what officer communicate may not be properly understood and everything time. So via written submission the officer has a time to analyze the case more viably. So, and also there's an elimination of departmental visit that creates a harassment both for the SSC and the officer. So these are the basic things that has been eliminated majorly from the faceless assessment scheme.
I think, yeah, this is a very important point which you have made, Ritika.
Yes.
So, now the importance of the presentation which is made before the officer, before the earlier it was only assessment, now even at the commissioner appeal level, and then moving forward at the ITAT level, because there is no physical interface, no physical interaction, the emphasis lays on the written communication which is there. The facts of the case have to be clean and clear. The supporting documents have to be clean and clear, and the in the presentation of the case in the written manner, along with the supporting case laws, becomes very important. So this with this, we would like to lay emphasis on the point that the quality of submission which we are making, the drafting which we have done, will be doing, becomes very important, and that is where the role of professionals comes into picture, wherein the case which you have to present before the officer has to be of utmost good quality to get the case in your favor. The facts have to be correct, and the presentation have to be very good.
Yes. And one more thing, everything will be on record. So there will be no denial that the SSC did not submit this fact or this evidence. Okay. Now, coming to the impact of faceless assessment, I think we have already dealt with all the points. There will be more transparency in the assessment, reducing biasness, cost of compliance of the SSE, easy and completion on time of the assessment, written submission we have already dealt, and the cases to be decided more on merits. So these things are the major impact of the faceless assessment that we have already dealt. Now, at last, we just want to touch with the major amendments in relation to assessment in the budget 2021 and 22. So, firstly, there is an elimination of old advance authority of ruling due to some internal problem and discrepancy in the authority, like due to vacancy of various posts and the hindrance in the conduct of ruling. So new board of advanced ruling has been introduced, eliminating the old authority of advanced ruling. Faceless dispute resolution panel for small and the medium taxpayers I have already dealt. Reduced time limit for reassessment under section 148. So this is also a major amendment in the budget 21-22. So 4 years has been reduced, 6 years. I will not deal in detail with the reassessment thing. Authority to officer other than AO has been given for issuance of notice under section 142. This is in coming in line with the faceless assessment only. So there was no such provision for issue of notice under section 142(1). Assessing officer has only the authority. So relevant amendment has been made giving authority to other officer under faceless assessment to issue that notice anonymously. Also, this portion I've already dealt, that the faceless appellate procedure has also been extended to ITAT. And one major amendment in the time limit of section scrutiny assessment under section 143 and the best judgment assessment. Earlier it was 1 year from the end of the assessment year, relevant assessment year, but now it has been made 9 months. So this was a touch of amendment in
So
budget 21.
the government with going faceless with the whole income tax system, and with going faceless and adoption of technology, the government feels that the time required for closing assessment should not be very high. Otherwise, as of now, 3 years old cases, 4 years old cases are being dealt at the current period. The assessment of 3-4 years old period is happening now. The government is working towards making the time period less, so that assessment for a particular assessment year gets closed at the earliest and does not get keep on lingering for several years. Similarly, the time limit for opening of cases, reopening of cases where income have escaped assessment under Section 147 and 148, that has also been reduced from 6 years to 3 years. So earlier, prior 6 years of cases could be opened by the tax authorities to assess the income again if they were of the view that the income has escaped tax, and that has been reduced to 3 years, which shall bring down again for small and medium businesses the risk of the cases getting reopened. So again, yeah, this is again a welcome step and a step towards a cleaner system and automated system to be there in place, wherein a timely resolution happens, timely assessments happens, and then there is a certainty that the things will not be reopened after a certain time period.
Yes. So here we are ending with our presentation, and Rahul will deal with any questions and answer.
Thanks, Ritika, for a very detailed presentation and going into the details of the things. So I think we don't have any questions for now. So we'll end the seminar, the webinar over here. Thank you everyone who have joined us in the webinar directly, and the people who are viewing us on Facebook Live. And thank you once again, Ritika, for joining us and giving a detailed presentation. And we'll be continuing with the webinar series, and we'll be having more webinars on different aspects related to taxation and budget related stuff. If you have any further queries, anything, if you need any professional help, you can reach out to us. Maybe Ritika, you can share the last slide, the contact details, wherein anyone wanting to reach out to us can visit our website or write us at info@taxmantra.com, and we'll be happy to assist you. So thank you once again. Thank you all. We are ending the session here.
Thank you.